Hey guys, let's talk hazards. Mapping out hazards is a really strong, important feature because it keeps you, your staff, and visitors safe. So let's crack into it. To add a hazard, there are two ways. You can add it from the draw and edit function, or I prefer going up to H&S, hazard/risks, record hazard/risk. So we'll start by just typing in the name of the hazard. I'll be adding stockyards. And here we can select the hazard type. I don't really feel like my hazard fits into these default hazards categories, so I'm going to add my own and call it yards. Then I can add my location. It's going to ask me what shape I'd like to identify this hazard with. So if I was maybe doing an offal pit, I'd probably use the point. If I was doing streams or cables, I'd use the lines. But I'm going to do the polygon because this is kind of a yard large area. And I might also just change the color to a nice yellow. Hit next. Then come in, zoom in on your area and draw where you have the hazard. Cool. After that, hit save. Then come over to potential harm. We do have some defaults you can choose from, and you can choose as many as you want. So I find working with animals in the stockyards could lead to notable injury or illness, injury to a person, and property/plant damage. Then we'll come down and rate our hazard. I'm going to put it as possible and may lead in moderate first aid or medical treatment. Then I can come down and decide, can I eliminate this hazard? I can't. It's a stockyard, so you need them, so I will minimize them. These are our prompts we have. You don't need to fill out all of them, but fill out what you can and what you find relates to the hazard. So for this one, I'm going to put in engineering because we have secure railings, keep people safe when they're walking around the race. Make sure it's spelt right. We'll come down to administration control. I had some that I prepared earlier, just so you don't need to watch me type the whole time, but just there can be anything like keeping stock calm, making sure staff is trained, a range of those things. And then we also have PPE, so this could be non-slip boots, and maybe hats and sunblock if required, just covering all your bases. Then it's going to ask us to rate the hazard again after we follow these procedures. We hope that the hazard now becomes a little bit safer, so I'm going to write the residual risk as unlikely to occur, but if it does occur, it might still lead in moderate first aid or medical treatment. So, and then finally, we come down to the action plan. This is so if you need to set any reminders to make sure you keep this hazard as minimal and safe as possible. So if I add an action, we'll create a new and we'll call it water blasting the yards, just so we keep those slippery planks clean. I'll push this through a few months, so maybe it's a bit warmer to do the water blasting than if you're just doing it every couple of years. And I'll set a checklist because I always find this helpful. So if the day comes and goes and we didn't see this pop up on our to-do list, it ends up in our overdue list. So I'll put that as cleaning up yards. Awesome. Hit save. Hit save again. So you can view them on the hazards by going to layers and hazards, or up to H&S, hazards and risks, and then hazard register. And you'll find all your hazards here ready to be exported. And that was our video on recording hazards in FarmIQ.